And we're recording.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the
Are we starting already? Jesus Christ.
Yep. The third episode.
Wait. No, hold on.
The sixth episode or something of the Hear Me Out podcast.
I cannot believe this. I'm mad, furious right now.
The Hear Me Out podcast is
I'm mad furious, bruv.
In which
I'm watching a lot of Doctor Who reviews. I'm
we don't
actually
killing
this right now.
We don't
no
actually
one can
talk
understand
about...
you because I'm talking over you. That's the new bit.
I hate this.
This is a great bit. Oh wait,
this is a bad time.
Okay, talk.
The Hear Me Out podcast is a podcast.
The thing about the B1 battle droid.
Oh my god. I'm not going to talk.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Hear Me Out podcast, the podcast in which we don't ever there's no themes, we don't have an overarching the motif or theme. We just sit and talk, and no one expects us to do anything different.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up. I'm Druzy. I think we did. Did we do that backwards? Don't I usually intro it?
Yeah, but you were taking too long.
I wasn't taking too long at all. We had just started recording. Like immediately, you went into the intro. We had there was no deliberation.
What's
the point? I'm usually kind of anti-deliberation. He's drinking fucking LaCroix right now.
I'm sipping on an ice cold.
I know you heard it. I heard it, so I know you heard it.
I'm sipping on an ice cold hibiscus LaCroix right now. It's my favorite flavor.
I'm gonna get a drink too.
Oh my God!
Water. I've got water here, but I'm using this as an excuse to not drink water right now.
You're gonna get something and show your superiority over me.
Cream soda.
Cream soda.
Listen to this. Oh, that's good. It turned yellow on the Audacity. I mean, that's not what we use. We use something expensive to edit.
Yeah, that costs money. I don't know. Mr. Sunday Movies uses Audacity.
Mr. Sunday Movies is also fucking Australian.
He's like a millionaire or something probably.
I don't think so.
I bet he is.
I think honestly, I think his wife probably also has a job because he used to be a teacher.
Yeah, I think she might be a teacher too. Teachers always marry each other.
Teacher love to marry teacher, don't they?
Teacher love marrying teacher, dude.
It's kind of a sweet deal, honestly, because like you both have summers off.
Yeah. I mean, working in schools when I get my degree, which I do, I get next month, like a month in 1 month next week. I get my degree in computer networking technology.
Holy shit!
And once I finish my current job, which is just a temp job. I'll be there throughout the rest of the year installing new networks in assorted other branches, if you will, of our establishment. That'll go until December. And then I'm probably going to start applying at schools. And I'll get summers off, and that's not really why I want to go. I just like school environments. They're very controlled.
I actually really hate school environments. And I also want you to know that was so boring that I did tune out for a second, and I'm really sorry about it. If we were on the phone, I would have stayed engaged the whole time, but I think I'm in engagement mode because of the podcasting thing.
Oh, well, I was just kind of telling you that I'm kind of excited for, like, the life I have planned ahead of me.
I don't really care about that.
Well, you know, I've been kind of working hard to get my degree and stuff, and...
That's actually kind of lame, I think.
At least I'm doing it, huh?
Damn. Fuck.
So...
I've been taking classes for a month now, bitch, loser.
Yeah, that's what you told your dad, but
that's true.
Who knows?
No, that's true.
I know that you're compulsive.
Me and this man and my dad had an argument recently. I don't lie to my father. I compulsively lie to my mother. Everybody knows that.
Does your mother know that?
She does, actually. She does. But she can't tell when I'm lying. I'm a very good liar.
Okay, that's a good one. That's probably a good dynamic.
She knows that I lie to her. We've had discussions about it. She lies to me. It's a whole mutual lying situation.
That's what family's for. That's what
family's all about.
That's the nuclear family.
The nuclear family in that it will eventually explode.
It
has a half-life.
Unless you bury it, like Lost.
You heard about bismuth?
Bismuth, the element?
Yeah.
Helps your belly not hurt.
Yeah, it's radioactive.
What?
Yeah, they recently found this out. It's radioactive. It has a half-life and everything.
Wow.
But its half-life is so long. That's why nobody noticed it was radioactive. Its half-life is like longer than the Earth has been around.
Wow.
So like we'll never really have to deal with that, but like that's just eventually it does the thing that all radioactive shit does.
So I can still take Pepto-Bismol when my stomach hurts.
Absolutely, you can.
That's wonderful. I love that bubblegum pink liquid.
I don't like the liquid version of it.
You can't.
I was going
you
to talk
can't
about
leave
something
our-
interesting before we talked about this. I don't
Well,
remember
you
what
can't
it was.
leave our. I was about to tell
The
you. You
thing
can't
about
leave
the
our
B1
audience.
battle droid
Oh
is-
my god! You can't leave our
The thing
audience
about
of
the
6
B1
people
battle
in
droid is
disbelief. And they're not. You can't just leave them in hanging. You got to tell them about the argument we had with your dad.
A British. That's what it was. The British.
That's what it
person-
was.
The British person that listens to this podcast, deeply disappointed right now.
Hey, British person, how are you?
I think she was glad that we made fun of Australians, because that's a fun little beef. You know, like the fake beef America and Britain have. The
Yes,
fake beef,
everyone
I'm
has
sure,
a fake beef with Britain.
except for Ireland. That's a very real beef.
That's a real. We both said brief by accident.
We did.
We got
That's
undies
actually
on
very
our mind.
interesting, and that brings me to the topic of this podcast: the new bit that we're doing, the new running gag, Pelican Brief, where if one of us says brief by accident, that person has to pretend to be a pelican for 45 seconds, and we did both say it, so now we have to be a pelican for 45 seconds, both of us. What do pelicans say? Do we know? Do scientists know that yet? That's what they say. No, that's what they say.
No. Let's not do that. I'm not into
yeah, that
this
sucks.
bit. I'm gonna.
It's your fault. You're the one that decided this one doesn't have a topic.
No, because we were going to talk about our lives. You were going to tell the audience of 6 people, including the British person, about the argument we had with.
Are you
dad,
saying 6
dumbass.
people plus the British person, or 6 people include like the British person is one of the 6 people?
Oh, freak! Fucking drop something.
Dude, that's terrible for the audio. When I edit this, I'm going to be mad.
The 6 people are me and you, our significant others.
Quentin
Lawson,
reviews.
and the British person.
Yeah. Is that
That's
6
it.
altogether? Counting Quentin reviews?
That's not no. In fact, if
Why
Quentin
not?
Reviews listens to this, you gotta get out of here, dude.
What the fuck? No, wrong.
I don't know.
love
I don't know
Quentin
any.
reviews.
I don't know anything about him, but I know you told me I looked like him, and I don't appreciate that.
You don't actually look like him. And what, you think he's ugly? That's mean. He's listening to this right now, first of all. Second of all, he's not ugly. He collects Transformers. He's a very cool guy.
I gotta apologize to the audience because I pranked them. We didn't have any argument with your dad. Tell me about what your life's been up to.
That's not true. We had an argument with this guy. Came into my Minecraft world. He started blowing shit up. He started humping my dog. He started.
I didn't do
running around.
any of that.
And I was trying to kill his ass, and then I was killing him, dude. You have no idea. He slept
Until
in
I
my
killed
bed.
you. Until I killed you.
He slept. Yeah, it was impressive that you killed me because I had clearly the advantage. You know.
Oh yeah.
It was a very hide and seek sort of thing,
Sure it was.
where it's like, you know, you're running around, you're maneuvering around this world that you're not familiar with. You're finding ways to fucking outwit me. It was very impressive and very fun.
And I didn't even outwit you. I ended up you messed up a jump and you died of fall damage.
Well, I think you would have killed me. Is why I count that I say that you killed me.
I did
'Cause
have
I
an
think
ingenious
that would have
plan.
worked. I think if I had made the jump.
I had an ingenious plan.
It's like if Anakin accidentally just fell in the lava at the end of Episode 3. Like, Obi-Wan still would have got him.
Okay, but then there would not have been a Darth Vader.
Yeah. So it'd be better for the world, probably.
But not for our world.
Not for our world, because of the power of imagination.
The power of imagine, and we're just gonna go. We're gonna put our hands out. It's gonna make a rainbow, and it's gonna say imagine.
I've got this friend called Cavassier. We've known each other since we were born. We were born at the same time, in the same room, in the same place.
That's not true.
And you don't know that.
I do. Because I know he's older than you. You've told me this.
He's younger than me.
No, he's not.
By 2 minutes, yes.
You're wrong and stupid and dumb. Keep talking about him.
I'll call my dad again. My dad will be the second ever guest on this podcast.
You and Kawase are not 2 minutes apart.
Me and Cavassier are 2 minutes apart. We were born at the same time in the same room.
Call your dad and ask him. I want to hear your dad say it.
I'm not going to call my dad right now because it's.
You just said you would.
It's 10:44 a.m. I would never say that.
My clock says 10:45.
My clock over there says it's 10:46. So.
You're fucking stupid. That's just. Oh, you're sticking your tongue out. Oh, I knew it. I knew it was happening. I could smell it coming.
You could not.
I could. I knew it was going to happen because you stuck your tongue out like a little burping goblin.
It's like when people sniff and they say, a storm is coming.
Why don't we call it passing gas when you burp?
I bet someone does. My mom went through a phase where she was always trying to get us to fart in the bathroom instead of anywhere else, and
That's stupid.
which is insane. Yeah.
I love there was that one instance where we went to a Black Lives Matter rally here in our small town, and your mother was worried that we were going to get exploded by Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, because the police told her there'd be Molotov cocktails there.
And-
It's a classic example of a government psyop.
And my wife told your mother that was the whitest thing. But your mom always seems to top herself, like go fart
she
in the
does.
bathroom. Because that's what were you, like 10 years old?
I was
How old were you?
about 16 years old.
Oh no, you were like.
I had a girlfriend at this time.
I mean, I knew you.
yeah, we knew each other.
We knew each other.
We knew each other at this time. We had already met. We were already like background characters in someone else's movie.
Was it
And-
because I always have I have a theory that rules do not get put in place until someone breaks them first.
Absolutely, that's true. I mean, even the Bible thinks that's true, right? Like,
Yeah.
the first murder
Yeah,
whole situation.
that I mean, like then they were like, well, you can't do this. We didn't even consider this before. So who was the culprit? Is my question.
I'm pretty sure it was me.
Oh,
If I had
no.
to guess, it was probably me.
You just
Um,
rip ass just
wait.
in front of your mom.
I mean, I'm ripping ass all the time, man.
Oh man, my boss will fart in front of me at work.
Dude, your boss sucks.
He's a good
We
guy.
can't say his name, obviously.
Right.
We can't say his name, obviously, but can we say the thing that he said?
No, I'm not gonna
Why?
implicate anybody.
Okay, but nobody, I guess people know who you are. So.
He didn't say anything that could get him fired.
He didn't. He did not.
He's got some wacky things.
He's got some wacky statements to
he's
make.
quippy. He's quippy
He's
in the
like,
way that
he's almost as badass as Deadpool or Boba Fett.
But anyways, his
Right
other
before this fucking podcast, this
Oh my
man
God,
was
let me finish
listing-
first. Let me finish first.
The thing about the B1 battle droid, this guy was telling me he was going through what are they called? Herb?
every epic rap battle of history.
Oh my
ERB
God.
for
He was
short.
He was gone. Is that why it's Herb? I thought one of those fuckers was called Herb.
No, are you serious?
Yeah, I just thought that was one of their names or something.
ERB stands for epic rap battles, dumbass.
I'm sorry.
They've been around for like 13 years. You were their target demographic during the hype.
So has my younger brother. Do you know his middle name?
Yes.
What is it?
I can't say it.
Okay.
We're on the podcast.
We don't want to dox him.
We don't want to dox him. Anyways, his other coworker can't
His name
smell.
on Twitter is Quentin Reviews.
My boss's other coworker, because there's only
Quincy.
3 of us, he can't smell, so he's used to being able to freely fart in our little freaking server room all the time.
Oh,
And
man.
one day I was just talking to him. He just skunk ass, man. I'm talking skunk ass. And I was like, dude, did you just rip asshole? And he was like, oh shit, you can smell. And I was like, I can, as most. And the other guy, he goes, I can't. What? This is the
He
world
wanted
that
you
was the
to
world
know
I woke
about
up
that.
in. That
He
was the
wanted
world I
you to
woke up
know.
in which there was a man who couldn't smell, and so his best friend and coworker constantly farted around him, taking advantage of it.
Insane.
And now that I have a functioning sniffer, he can't freely fart anymore. This is my life. So what's
Why
up
didn't
with
the other guy
Cavassier?
do anything about it?
He didn't know.
Cavassier was born at the same time with the ability to smell as me, and he lived across the street from my grandma's house, where I spent a lot of my time as a child, because my dad didn't always feel like having kids, which makes sense.
That's I mean,
I'm
That's-
about his age, and not right now, but obviously. But I wouldn't feel like having kids either.
people always ask me, just because I'm married, people are like, when you gonna have kids? I'm
Crazy.
not in the foreseeable future. Give me 10 years to think about it.
Yeah.
I'm not even graduated from college. I am the kid.
You say that. I'm the kid.
I turned 20 less than a month ago. I cannot buy a pack of cigarettes in the state of Arkansas.
You can't. Yeah, that's insane. I didn't even think about that.
Nuts.
I'm really glad I didn't get addicted to nicotine like everyone else our age.
See, it's you either get into it when you're 12 years old, and then you can never kick it, or you have a phase when you're like 17, and then you get rid of it pretty quick. But nonetheless, you try it once.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not sure if I've tried it or not.
I'm of weak mind.
I either will or have.
Yeah,
you know, like it's not like, haha, I've never done that.
It's an easy one. You can do it anywhere, pretty much.
You can find them
at
on
any
the
time.
ground, man.
You find them on the ground. You can.
You ever see a 12-year-old smoking pick up a cigarette off the ground? What's up with that?
They're collecting. They're hoarding it. They got a little drawer that they put it in.
You see that picture of Mark Hamill picking up a cigarette off the ground and smoking it?
I stay away from Mark Hamill on social media, honestly.
Why?
Neoliberal.
I think he's a little past neoliberal status.
He's still a real love of Joe Biden, Kamala Harris kind of guy.
Oh, yeah, he is. But you know what? I appreciate that he's like fucking 60-something or whatever.
At least he'll take a stand, I guess.
He's not gutless. You know what I mean? Like, he's not a coward person.
That's the only... I mean, that's like my redeemable thing about baby boomer neoliberals is you know that like all of their peers, especially when they have a platform, every baby boomer with a platform is epic conservative, ultra time. And so when they're like, yeah, I'm not that, that's something. It's not ideal. I would really like... I'd really like more old American socialists with a platform, but we're just not there yet. We will be one day.
Unfortunately not. Honestly, if Sanders had been the guy, the president guy, I feel like that'd be the page that Mark Hamill was on. I don't think Mark Hamill would be over there like, I think this guy's going a little too far. You know, like
I've met some liberals like that.
I think there are lots of people like that. I think, but which I think is funny because I mean I found myself in recent months, sort of thinking about some of Sanders' statements about some things and thinking that like, I don't know, he's cool. I like him or whatever. I think he's definitely the best option of that election that we had. But I don't know, his sort of hyper fixation on like Nordic socialism is a little bit weird, given that those countries
be Norway every day.
Those countries really profit a lot out of the exploitation of the global south.
Yeah, and also just it can make things a lot easier socially when you don't have to tackle racism.
Yeah, when everybody looks like PewDiePie, it's not as hard.
It's not as... Because, I mean, they don't have to... I mean, like, capitalism might be a lot less of an issue in a country like that. Like, if they were just straight as capitalist as we were. Because
because I think they're exploiting people far, far away instead of, like, exploiting the brown people in their own country.
Right.
So it's not as big of, like, a tearing society apart feeling that white people have whenever brown people are like, what if we were paid a living wage?
Yeah. What if we did that and did not have to go get fruits for 10 cents a bushel?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty
You see them with the knives, they're like, shh. They're doing good.
But they hate their lives.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not. They're not having fun out there.
No. I mean, if you've got to, like, do that much to survive and shit, I would get that skill, too. Mm-hmm. Like, when, like, my first minimum wage job at a restaurant that is now closed down, I worked in their dish room.
Yeah.
3 days before I started there, I would not touch a soggy dumpling in a sink.
You didn't do it.
And now I am permanently able to touch as much wet sink food as is necessary for a human.
Chicken for fun now. I see you do it.
That's not it. No.
I know. I talked to Mac about this.
You didn't.
I know. They said that you dunk the fried chicken. You buy it from KFC, not to eat it, because KFC chicken is gross as fuck. but you dunk it in the water and you just kind of squeeze on it, and you go like this. Oh, man. You say, oh, man, every time, which is a weird move.
Oh, man. Sorry, I had to send a text. It was kind of important.
He just did it just now. I saw him.
It was kind of important. I'm sorry. We'll just cut that bit out, probably. Because that was... sorry.
Cut it at the burp.
I had life going on. Anyways.
That's okay. That's fine. Cavassier is... Cavassier is a real boy.
He's not.
Who I grew up with. I haven't seen him in a while because he moved away. But we're friends. I saw him on Thanksgiving. We're friends.
He's not. You didn't. There's no pictures
FaceTime.
of that?
Over FaceTime.
Mm-hmm, there's so many pictures of that Thanksgiving and not one with Cavassier.
I saw him over FaceTime. I just said it twice. Just like I saw my other cousin that I told you about that I proved was real recently.
You didn't.
Oh, I didn't prove he was real.
No,
I proved
all you did
was real only.
You didn't prove anyone was real. You called your dad. And
you
said,
think my dad would lie if I asked him on the spot if a nigga named fucking Cavassier was real or not?
Yes.
Are you crazy? Let it be noted that when I first asked is Cavassier real, my dad did clarify first that Cavassier, the drink, is real. And I think that's funny.
Cavassier the drink? No. Listen.
What?
Listen.
Am I wrong about that? He said something like that.
So the basis of the argument is that you have two people who were close to you in your formative years. A cousin, and as your dad put it, a little boy named Cavassier.
Oh, boy. Well, he said it. My favorite thing about the way he said it like Han Solo in The Empire Strikes Back. Whenever Leia and Han are discussing where to go, because their light speed engine doesn't work, the hyper speed. What the fuck is it called? The hyperdrive. The hyperdrive doesn't work on the Millennium Falcon. And they're like, what are systems that are close? And Han's like, Lando. And she goes, Lando system? And he goes, Lando's not a system, he's a man. That's what my dad did. He said, Cavassier is also a boy. That's what he said.
He had to put that in. But anyways.
Remember when I talked for 45 seconds about The Empire Strikes Back for no reason in particular?
There's no worse way to talk about Empire, I think. It should come up every once in a while.
So I'm worried about this becoming a Star Wars podcast. I think that's why I'm self-conscious about that.
Inevitably will.
Oh, man.
Because I know a lot about Pokemon, and you know a lot about Transformers, and we both know a lot about Star Wars. You know more than I do, but I do know sufficient quantity.
You recently had a Star Wars trivia encounter, and you fucking killed it. You missed one question, and it was that Yoda used to be a monkey.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. I didn't know there was a monkey. Was he a capuchin?
He was one of the little fuckers, yeah. I don't know exactly what kind of monkey, but it was
one of those little shits from Night at the Museum.
You should know that's the same. You should know that's the same monkey as from fucking Hangover.
Is it?
Yeah, and it's a girl. She plays a boy in both movies, but it's a girl monkey.
Huh.
That's a weird move, I feel like. Why did they change the gender of the monkey? Who cares?
The Hangover movies in general were a weird move, I think.
I think it's actually a great move, but I've only seen Hangover 1 and 3.
Okay, I have seen 1 and 2. I've seen 1 a lot.
I've also seen the Zeke and Luther episode based on The Hangover.
Really? I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't want.
One of those guys is bad, right? One of those guys is not good.
Probably. It might have been one of those situations.
I think it's Luther.
It might be one of those situations where, like, I say Michael Phelps, and you're like, and someone might be like, yeah, he's got, like, kind of a stained career, doesn't he? But it was just he smoked a bong at a party
weed one time.
So
and now he's in, like, commercials for addiction. Like, a few years ago, he was in, like, had an addiction one time. Or something.
Really?
Yeah, or something like that.
They probably should have gotten, like, Lance for that or something, don't you think?
Definitely. I don't think Lance agreed. I think they came to Lance for sure.
They probably went to Lance.
Said yes.
They're like, Lance, you want to talk about
For our British listener, Lance was the first man to walk on the moon. He also had a crippling heroin addiction at the time.
Yeah, he was the first man to shoot heroin on the moon. He knocked a little hole in his spacesuit and everything. He just had to cover it up with his finger the rest of the time he was out there.
Do you think that would work? Do you think if an astronaut with their glove could be like, and just kind of stick the hole for a while? Like, not forever, obviously.
I mean, like, as quickly as, like, vacuums level out, he'd probably be oxygenless before he could even think about covering that hole. And then when he did, he would just
be... Man, what?
I mean, like...
I think, well, maybe if the suit isn't strong enough, if it ripped a further hole in the suit because of the speed at which the air escaped his space costume, then maybe he would, like, die.
Anyways, there's no basis that Cavassier or this cousin exist whatsoever.
Not true.
There isn't. I've never seen a photo. They have no social media presence. One of them has a made-up ass name, and the other one is the other one is just named after his dad. So that seems pretty damn easy to fabricate. And you could just be like, Dad, if I ever come to you and I'm like, hey, is Cavassier real? Just be like, yeah. Just say he's a little boy that lived across the street from your mom.
When would I have done this?
At any time.
The whole reason he doesn't believe in Cavassier, by the way, is because one time in 10th grade, Cavassier had come to my town and brought me a half-eaten bag of tropical Skittles. And I said...
Your bitch say the dick tastes like tropical fruit Skittles. That's a real Danny Brown.
Can we have him on the podcast?
Danny Brown?
Yeah, Danny Brown. Can we get him on there? I love that.
This is an open invite for Danny Brown to come on this podcast. Danny Brown,
come on the podcast. That reminds me, Come on the Podcast is the new name of the podcast. Have you heard about the podcast Cumtown?
No, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it or anything or heard it.
I haven't listened to any of it, but I hate the name. Well, actually, that's not true. I have listened to a few episodes of Cumtown because I'm a leftist, but I didn't really enjoy it. I don't think it's actually very good. As far as leftist podcasts go, I think podcast about list is kind of the way to go. Oh man, I shouldn't have put the cream soda in my mouth. That's the problem.
You shouldn't have, because now you're burping in the mic. It's like that time Brutal Moose took a sip of that coffee flavored Coke and he hiccuped the entire rest of the time he was doing the video.
Brutal Moose? I suggested you watch Brutal Moose and you refused.
I love him.
You love him?
Every time he uploads him, I'm excited about it.
How long has this been in development?
Since you recommended him to me.
Holy shit. I just assumed you didn't watch him because I told you he was related to, like, JonTron and Peanut Butter Gamer.
I said he'll probably end up being a bad guy at some point, but until then, I guess I'll probably just go with it.
Wow.
What's JonTron up to now? He's still uploading?
I assume he is. I mean, he has months between uploads usually.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay, so recently one of the Game Grumps got in some hot water. I don't know if you heard about this or not.
Danny Sexbang.
Danny Sexbang, yeah. Aptly named gentleman. And Danny Sexbang had fucked some groupies or whatever. Yes. What is it? Fucked a fan or two or some.
That's what I heard.
One of them is an account. But we can assume he fucked one fan. He fucked a few fans. And I don't really know how I feel about the whole fucking fans idea.
I think it really depends on how mature they can be and how enamored they are by you in terms of like a separated godly like influencer individual as opposed to just a person. Yeah. And I don't think you can really develop those feelings like at just one night at a tour. So even if the person doesn't feel manipulated, I think that it can typically kind of be you've got a bit of power over them.
Yeah, I think it's a like pretty. That, it's. I wouldn't say that it's like a crime ass move. No, but it's kind of shitty.
It's like that Always Sunny bit, where Dennis, who is portrayed as just a sex fiend the entire time, says he loves going on like small cruises and stuff like that. Because of the implication that women.
I feel like that one is. That's like rough as fuck. Like I don't know. That's not like.
But in the same way that it's like, not necessarily like as in like they can't say no to Danny Sexbang, but like Dennis, as Danny Sexbang would, has a bit of kind of power over this person that there might be an implication somewhere that would be like
there could be.
It's a lot harder for you to say no to me. And so, no, I don't necessarily think it's like she has to have sex with me. Like, I don't think that he would be putting anyone in, like, a dentist situation. But it probably is a bit harder to say no, especially to someone that you, like, respect and have consumed for a long period of time.
I see.
In that same way. But, no, I don't think that they're one-to-one comparable. But I also just like to bring up that bit a lot because it's horrible. The Always Sunny writers are amazing, I think.
Oh, yes.
I think they really know how to make someone just terrible, just abhorrent.
It's very upsetting to me when people don't get that they're bad.
Yeah, it's the same as like, yeah, I'm a Fight Club fan because I like and relate to Tyler Durden.
Tyler Durden's very cool, yeah.
I want to be the Joker, baby.
I mean, I don't know, man. Sometimes I feel like the Joker.
Do you?
Sometimes I'm feeling like the Joker right now.
I feel like you're not. You shouldn't.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, ha ha.
Are you? I mean, like most of the time that happens just when someone tells like a joke, you know, I just kind of laugh. But I don't really feel like.
Say what you just said, but slower.
I don't even remember what I just said, honestly.
When somebody tells
when someone says something funny, you know, you kind of just.
When somebody tells
What's your life been? What you been up to lately? Let's catch up.
When somebody tells a joke.
It's been a minute.
Now say the word joke. Spell joke for me, please.
We haven't recorded
when somebody opens up a.
What you been up to?
The thing about the.
On my end,
the thing about the B1 Battle Droid.
Talking.
What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
What you up to?
The thing about the B1 Battle Droid.
What's your life?
So
been like?
What it is when so if you say JOKE, all three letters. There's a fourth letter you add to that. R. If you had a hard R to that joke.
I'm sorry. I was just going to let you flounder. I wasn't going to reciprocate that at all. Oh.
If you had a hard R to that joke, that's the Joker,
no.
baby.
I'm the Joker, baby.
I'm the Joker, baby. I'm the Joker right now. I've got a huge mouth. I've got a huge fucking mouth, and I'm wiry. I'm the Joker right now.
I thought if I didn't laugh and I just stared at you on Skype that you just flounder and asked me to cut out the bit or something.
As soon as you started to smile, I was gaining power. As soon as you started to smile, I was feeding off of your energy.
It all came out
like
at once.
Emperor Palpatine in Return of the Skywalker.
I'm crying a little bit. I'm crying just a little bit. What's your life been like? What you been up to?
Well, I'm maybe going to move into a house in a month.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The lease is being signed today.
Really?
This will maybe age really poorly.
That's okay.
Because, you know, God knows what could go wrong. I'm not letting myself get excited about it just because I don't do that. Because of trauma.
That's fair.
But, yeah, I'm hopefully moving out of the town I'm in and into a different town.
Into a nearly identical but much bigger town.
4 other roommates.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you for this.
Yeah, and it might not work out or whatever. I don't fucking know. But
and if it doesn't,
and I'm excited
that's
about
okay.
It. Well, I'm not letting myself get excited about it. You know how it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, so you got a month before you move 4.5 hours away from me, your best friend.
Yes. Well, because I don't actually like you that much.
We have 3 weeks until we can hang out unmasked and untethered. Because that's the point where we will all be fully vaccinated. Is Rose fully vaccinated?
Rose is fully vaccinated, yeah.
That's wonderful. Mac gets their shot next week, and I get mine a couple days after.
That's their last name, Mac Gargan.
Mac Gargan, and
who's Mac Gargan? Do you know?
So we'll be able to have a little get together. We can say goodbye and never see each other again.
Never see each other again.
That's wonderful.
I'm very happy. I was just thinking I could visit every few months or weeks or.
That'd be wonderful. Do you? Is that the surprise you said you had for me?
No. The surprise will come later.
That's wonderful. What else?
I guess that is a little bit of a surprise. What else has been going on? I don't know. Honestly, that is actually kind of it, which does make it sound really lame in hindsight. But, I've just been thinking about, I've been writing down jokes for the podcast, and I have one here.
I want to hear it.
I have one here.
Okay.
And it says, if you add a hard R to a joke, that's the Joker.
I got a job.
And I was thinking we could do something with that.
Hold on, my mother
is that a ghost? Is that a haunted ghost?
That's my mother.
Is that
Mom,
a haunted
you're yelling
ghost?
at me during my podcast. I'm recording.
This fucking loser lives with his mom.
ass.
Okay, let me tell you about this guy now that he's gone. Okay, let me tell you about this guy now that he's gone. I don't know if the mic picked up when he was talking and walking away, but something about that really added some dimensionality to that, and I really enjoyed that. And he's kind of left me out here to dry, and I really hope he doesn't cut this out because I think that's a funny scenario. I think that's really good. Just to be like, just the podcast is accidentally just one person talking for a little bit. I was actually watching Patrick H. Willems recently, and he just picked up mail in the middle of a podcast, and I think that's fantastic. But fuck, I forgot. See, this is why I couldn't do the podcast by myself, because I'll forget and he won't remind me what is happening, which is, sort of the bit of the podcast. How do you like the podcast so far? Here, we're going to do some Dora stuff right now. What was your favorite part? That part sucked. Okay.
All right, I'm definitely cutting all that out.
You're not cutting that out.
I'm going to cut that out.
I talked for the whole time. It was really impressive.
Okay, I'll leave it in probably. I'll see how it sounds. Let's see what got picked up.
And it's going to tie in with my little surprise later.
Well, we were talking about serious family stuff, dude. If it got picked up, I got to cut it out. I'll probably just cut my mic for that point in time. Anyways, so now you got to ask what's been going on with me.
Oh, what's been going on with you?
Not much.
Oh, okay. I heard you got a job. The word on the street is you got a job.
I did get a job. I was interning. Because I have to have an internship to graduate. It's part of my degree plan. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, your internship isn't long enough. We're going to give you $14 an hour part-time to do intern things for the next 8 months. And I said, that sounds pretty awesome. And I started that 2 weeks ago. And that's where I've been installing networks and stuff, and sometimes I just open boxes, but that's okay because I get money for it. Yeah, man. Which is much better than my internship. Actually, honestly, since the last podcast, a lot's happened. Much has occurred. It has been a surprising amount of time since the last podcast. Yeah, it's been a month and a half. It's been 2 months since we recorded it, and then it took me 3 weeks to get it edited and uploaded. Yeah, so. Which makes sense because neither of us get paid for this, and we have other stuff going on in our lives. We got other stuff. So if you were expecting a hi-fi ass podcast that comes out weekly, you're fucking crazy, dude. I know Quentin Reviews emailed me. He said that he wanted me to do that, but I said Q Review, you're crazy. Okay. You gotta give me money for it. My mother's been living with me. Get back to fucking Garfield. Why don't you? You're not like me, Q Review. Okay, because what I do, I add a hard R to that joke. It's the Joker. And that's our tagline. That's. I think we should name this one just as kind of a clickbait title. I think we should name this one Hard R. Hard R. But that's not that impressive because one of us is black already. Yeah. And the bit of the podcast is you never know which one. You never know which one. Sometimes it's me. You never know which one of us is black for this episode. It's probably that's why Noah in this episode is black, and he's gonna say the word. Actually, most time I'm listening to Kendrick Lamar, and I'll be like, "Oh, Lamar." Remember when he does that? I love that. Oh, Lamar. What? He looks like he's surprised. He sounds like he's an ad lib. Dropped something. Most of the time, I just replace the N word with fella, and it flows and it rhymes. So. How much would you pay? How much would you pay for Kendrick Lamar to release an album where he replaces all instances of nigga with fella? like a new album, or is it just like a remixing?
It's a new album.
Okay. Like, how much could I pay, or would I pay?
Would.
I mean, if he would just do it for any dollar amount, I'd give him $1.
Okay, wow, that's actually very clever of you, because what you've done is you've taken
your
literally
question
the
was
common
kind of flawed and stupid.
you've taken literally the very common not my fault way that question is supposed to be framed as the way it is repeated within our society and culture, and you've turned it on its head by taking it very literally. No one's doing that in the podcasting industry, and that's why you come here to the Hard R podcast.
The Hard R podcast.
Now we sound like Republicans.
Now we sound like Steven Crowder.
I already kind of sound like a Republican in my voice, I think.
I don't think so.
I think I'm just worried about it. 'Cause, we talked about that last podcast. We talked about that a little bit. That reminds me, last podcast we forgot to do the thing that we agreed would be the outro thing.
Oh, no, what was it?
Well, originally, because at the end of towards the end of the very first episode, not the very, very first episode, because there's a number of pilots that you'll probably never see. Maybe the very first pilot, because surprisingly, out of the pilots, it's the best one auditorially.
Yeah, and also it's the one that we have to cut the most out of.
That is true. We do have to make it where you can't hear any of it.
Because we do call someone who knows both of us personally by first name Hot.
That's true.
And we also just dox a different person. So
who do we dox? Tell me their name and address.
No.
Oh, I remember who we doxed.
I remember who we doxed.
Okay.
I wonder how she's doing.
I wonder how she's doing.
Probably watching Naruto.
Honestly, probably. You think it's because she's down bad.
She's not down bad. She's down good.
Initially, you accused her of being down bad, and that's why someone was able to convince her to watch anime. She's down bad for somebody. I don't think that's true. Anime is people like it. I'm not a huge fan of anime.
Yeah,
myself.
but Naruto is like, you're either like, Jesus, I swallowed a bug.
You're either that or the other Naruto. What's the other one?
No, you're either born into Naruto or you're down bad and someone introduces you to it.
You ever live long enough to see yourself become the villain, or you watch Naruto? I pretended to like Naruto for like a full year in second grade, because the only other black kid in my school, Patrick, watched Naruto, and I was desperate. I was truly desperate for some sense of camaraderie with him, because we got along. But like one more thing for us to both talk about, fuck yeah, and we would talk about foxes with 9 tails.
I did the same thing with Green Day, with a kid who is now a staunch conservative.
Him.
And then ended up getting really, really into Green Day.
Yeah.
Like, Green Day is not my favorite band.
He didn't listen to any of the lyrics.
Green Day is not my favorite band. They were at one point. But I will say that I know more lyrics to Green Day songs and things about Green Day than, like, my top 5 favorite bands combined.
It's really impressive how much you know about Green Day. That's actually how we met. Is I said, "Did you know I'm from Green Day?" And he said, "No."
I said, "I know you're not, because I know everybody who's ever been in Green Day. I know everyone who's ever toured in Green Day. I know him personally." I called up Billy Joe last night. I said, "Billy Joe," and he said, "Do you have the
Billy Joe did American. What's it called? Uptown Girl. That was him.
That was.
Yeah, it goes like this. Do you have that time?
You're thinking of You Can Call Me Al. That guy?
Who did that? Oh, is it Paul Simon?
No, the guy is called You Can Call Me Al.
Who can call me Al is what I'm wondering.
Betty.
This is either the worst or best episode of the podcast.
I love it. I'm so happy.
I'm having a great time. I'm just saying that this might be really bad. I just want you to know that whenever you send me the edited version of this to upload, and it's not, if it's not good, I'm not gonna be mad at you. Because this is about us having a good time anyway.
We'll still upload it, I think, because I've had fun.
We'll definitely
one, and
still
I'll have fun re-listening to it. And all of the drafts that aren't sent to you, I delete. So like the first take of the Lawson podcast, my track is gone and will never be recovered.
Holy shit!
Even though Lawson had his headphones up so loud, you could probably hear me anyways. So, but anyways,
Lawson, we hate you. Did we include Lawson on the list of 6 people and
we did. It was us. That's 2. Our significant others. That's 4. The British person is 5, and Lawson is the 6th.
Very cool.
That's wonderful.
Very cool. What are some ongoing projects that you have? That you're enjoying currently?
Ongoing projects?
Yeah. I have started an ongoing project recently that I'm enjoying. Also, I'm working on a commission, but that's not really. And I finished a commission recently. You might have seen that on Instagram. But
probably, yeah. For our friends.
I feel like I write those poorly. I feel like I write those really bad. The captions for them. I feel like I feel really dumb when I write those.
I love you. You're my best friend on the planet. When I see your art, I do not read the caption.
That's okay. The art is the main part of it.
The art is the part.
That's the thing that I want you to look at. I really don't care if you read the captions.
My
Sometimes there's a funny joke in there, though. Sometimes there's a bit about art.
You keep cutting me off, dude, and I think we need to tackle this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So anyways, most of my projects for the past year have in some way involved like Nintendo Family Console modifications. Because fuck, I'm a loser nerd. I've done so many. I think the last time we recorded, I had already finished my Game Boy.
I believe so, yes.
But more recently, I bought a 5th shell housing for my DSi XL, which I love internally, but externally I hate so much. I can never find a shell I like, and I constantly replace it. In this most recent replacement, I was having some screen issues. And I was like, well, I don't want to put it back together to test the screen. I'm going to do it while I take it apart. And both times, the battery terminals just broke. Yeah. I have 2 battery terminals. They both stopped working. And I think it's because I was touching them while I was turning it on. But that doesn't matter.
They shot their acid everywhere.
And so I bought a regular-sized DSi, which I've never had personal experience with. And it's going to become my daily pirated Pokemon game driver once I get...
I love the regular size DSis.
The DSi, I'm holding in my hands. It's just a bit dinky, dude. It's not as hefty. Mm-hmm. It has half of the amount of battery as the XL does, which I mean, like, you know, the screens are also like half the size, so it's got less to power. But I'm gonna assume that even still, battery life probably not as good. I'll probably get into it once it's all done, but right now it's pink and has princesses all over it. I bought it from my younger sister-in-law. You've met her.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
big fan of her, actually. I think she's great.
She's funny.
Yeah.
She can tell some good jokes. I go, damn, you got me. But that's
the name of one of your cats. Your cat has a boner.
My cat does not. He's a growing boy. Let's talk about that cat.
This dude's fucking cat's got a... Let me tell you about this. You had a hard R to that bone? That's a boner.
That's what your dad calls dry bones in Mario.
My stepdad used to call me boner.
Whoa, that's not cool.
It's not cool.
Let's dox him.
No. Let's not dox him. Let's not dox anybody. I think that's a good rule.
Let's not dox anybody. Unless if we can box dox.
Should the podcast have rules? This is only the 3rd episode.
This is only the 3rd episode. We probably shouldn't dox anyone unless it's Ben Shapiro.
You know, Ben Shapiro lives on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, the best thing about this, just for viewers, I'm just reminding you once again, this is not even kind of for you, and I don't care about you or love you. And if you're listening to this, I hate you.
That's not true, because I know Rose is going to listen to this, and I know that Mac is going to listen to this. And what do we do then? What do we do when those people hear this?
I love them both, but one of them more than the other. Isn't it funny that when you date one of your friends, you've clearly chosen a favorite?
Yeah.
I think that's so funny. I love it. I'm a big fan. I make jokes about it a lot. Like, to Rose, I'll be like, remember, you're my favorite, because you're the one that I dated. You're the one that I'm in love with, so... Remember that
I'm gonna have to point that out.
Clearly you're my favorite.
Because Mac was well established in my friend group when we started dating.
Yeah.
Oh, and so, yeah, and I mean, like, the rest were guys, but I mean, this is 2021. Does that really matter?
It's 2021. Get with the times. I hate that expression, personally.
Yeah, because it changes every year.
It changes every year. It's annoying. Like, do you think Romans were like, come on, Pontavious? It's negative 33. Get with the fucking times.
I went to elementary school with a kid named Pontavious.
I have a cousin named Pontavious.
Do you really?
No.
What was
remember that was a kid name that I kept calling Octavius?
No, but that doesn't sound wrong. There was a name.
Because his name was Dontavius, but I just wanted to pretend he was Dr. Octopus.
Okay.
I thought it was funny.
There was a, way back in the day, like in 10th grade, there was a word that you wanted to be your name, but I can't remember.
Precarious.
Precarious. Love that. So if we're going to keep talking about my life, which I just love to do.
Your life is all that you have. Of course you want to talk about it. It's beautiful to have a life. It's wonderful to have a life. It's important to have a life, and it's important to acknowledge that it's important to talk about your life, and important to outwardly express that you believe your life has value. I love you.
Are you going to top this off with a hard R joke?
Well, when you add...
the boner
I can't
cat,
think of
Danny,
one. Oh my God.
He's a growing boy. He can't help it. He gets belly rubs. He gets a little hard on. It's not his fault.
It happens to me.
Yeah. You get belly rubs, you get a hard on. It's just kind of the way you live. But anyways, he got out for 16
He was
days.
gone for so long.
We have a busted window that my landlord doesn't know about. That I keep cardboard on, but I recently bought a replacement plexiglass for it, so I can replace it without paying $300 for custom cut glass.
Oh yeah.
And he might not know, and if he does, it was broken when I moved in, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
It's not gonna be my fault. I'm putting in more effort than I even should.
Most people they don't do that by themselves.
Danny, my youngest boner cat, my only boner cat, but my youngest cat in general.
Are you saying your other cats never get boners?
No, they don't.
Never? Do they fuck? Not each other.
They're fixed.
Oh,
Danny's not.
They don't fuck anymore. They're retired.
He got out. He opened the cardboard one day and just walked out. And we could not find. We saw him. It was March 7th, the day he got out.
I was really worried about this.
And we saw him twice that day, both times under the house. Once through the hole in my floor that leads to the crawl space under my house.
Oh shit!
You know that vent in my hallway? Mm-hmm. That big vent? That's you just lift that up, you are under the house. You just go under the house from there. Mm-hmm. We saw him once under there, and we saw him once under my air conditioning unit that leads to under the house. That's how he got there, because the air conditioning unit's right next to the window he got out of.
So were you less or more worried when you saw him under there?
I was fully confident he'd be in by the end of the day. This is the
I
day
would
he
be
got
too.
out.
That's why I ask. Like, if I saw a cat and the cat was just under the floor, I'd be like, "Oh, okay, cat coming back."
I sent Mac to Ace Hardware, and we bought a skunk trap.
Are you talking about the place with the helpful hardware, folks?
Yes.
I thought about that joke 4 hours ago.
Oh man! Well, now you're
I
here.
came up with that joke a long time ago.
Now you're here. We bought a skunk trap for $60. Mm-hmm. And he's too smart for it. He's too smart for the trap altogether. We set it out with just so many irresistibles. His favorite toy, which was taken by code enforcement, I'll get to that. This is a whole saga, man. This is a whole chapter in my life. And anyways, so we had set out the trap, and he didn't go into it, and we left it just by the air conditioning unit place that he was, and then for the rest of the time we would just open the hole in the floor and try to see if we can fish him out. This was the 7th. We did not see him again until my birthday on the 19th.
Holy shit!
Not one time. There was one time I thought I saw him, but it was dark. And it was across the street from any place we had ever seen him after that. So it might not have been him, and I didn't get him anyway, so it doesn't matter. But confirmed Danny appearances were 0 between March 7th and March 19th. We pulled in. We had done some stuff on my birthday. We had just picked up, or we were about to go pick up dinner. And we pull into the driveway, and this little black cat, Danny, just jolts across the driveway back into my crawl space. And I was like, that's freaking Danny, dude.
That's him, man.
And so we just started, into every opening of the crawl space we were sat in front of, and eventually he came to Mac. So it was me in front of one, my mom in front of another, and Mac in front of a third. And eventually he came to Mac, and she grabbed him, and he fought like hell about it.
Really?
He was just so scared, I think.
Oh,
like,
okay. Yeah, that
it's one of
makes
those things where, like, he may not, I don't think, and I'm not a cat psychologist, but I'm not sure if he really recognizes us outside of the context of us being people in the house, because he had never seen us out of the house.
Yeah, because he's always in the house. He's chilling in the house.
Yeah. So he just got really scared, fought them tooth and nail until he just escaped. And I chased after him into the neighbor's yard, 2 yards down, and he eventually got into a space I couldn't get into. And I was like, motherfucker, I just ran my cat off who's been gone for 12 days on my birthday, and he'll never come back.
Not a good feeling.
And I was so upset about it.
Oh, my God.
And the next day, I was sat on the porch watching the area that I chased him into, and he starts crawling around, just starts being. And I was like, that's Danny. But he's still too scared of me from the previous day. So I go grab the $55 non-working trap that he's too smart for. And I put it where I saw him. And I didn't see him for the rest of the day. Didn't get him in the trap. And then the next day, I'm going over to service the trap, and I see the little shit. Oh, and he sees me. And he gets spooked, and he runs under the neighbor's house.
This guy loves going under fucking houses, man.
Yes, he loves it. And I set the trap up there, but this neighbor's house is vacant, and homeless people like to camp out in it because it has an unlocked door that they can't lock. So code enforcement gets called out by my neighbor on the other side of this next door house quite often to complain about the homeless people squatting in this empty house. And so code enforcement showed up while I had a trap in front of this empty house's crawl space.
I hate when people are at an empty house. I hate when people are inside an empty house, man.
I hate that.
Oh, man.
What are they going to do?
That's not what houses are for.
No. What's they smoke
Houses
crack
are for
there?
people that aren't empty to be in.
Yeah. Idiots. And anyways, code enforcement guy shows up, and I hear him out there, and I was like, fuck, I've got that trap out there. And so I go, and I'm like, hey. He was like, is this a crawl space the hobo's been crawling into? And I was
Call
like,
them hobos?
Yes. And
Nobody
I was like,
says that.
And I was like, yes, but that is not their trap. That's my trap. My cat's under there. And he was like, I was trying to figure out what this was for. And he held up Danny's favorite toy, which we had in front of the trap. And I was like, yeah, I'm just trying to catch him. And he's like, well, if you just want to seal up this crawl space yourself after you get your cat, I'll get out of your hair. And I was like, fantastic, wonderful. Yeah. He was actually really nice, and he didn't say hobos. I was just fluffing the story.
Oh, my God.
He was a real polite guy.
He said...
but he did take Danny's favorite toy with him.
What the fuck?
I guess he forgot he was holding it. Because it's gone. The next day, 24 hours remain. We hadn't seen Danny since I chased him, or like he ran from me into the other neighbors under their house. And Phil, our fat idiot lazy cat, who I love very much,
Garfield.
He's just pawing at the back door, just pawing at it. And we're like, what? We have French doors that's glass, and we're like, what the fuck? What's that going on? What's that about? And Mac opens the curtain on the back window, and Danny and Phil are playing with each other through the glass.
Dan and Phil.
And we were like, that's wonderful. And Mac sits out there for 30 minutes until they finally get a hold of him. And we had to wrestle him into the house and threw him in, and he's been here safe and happy ever since.
Wonderful.
He was thin as a rail, and he meowed for 4 straight days.
How many days total was he gone?
16.
16.
The 7th to the 23rd. That's a long time.
Yeah, that's like
because he had
a long ass time.
Yeah, because he had gotten bigger. He'd gotten like it was long enough that he had like gotten a little longer, you know.
Oh,
but he also lost like 3 pounds. Wow. Like as far as we know, he only ate the treats that we laid out that weren't in the trap. Because there was plenty of food in the trap, but we couldn't get him going.
This fucker knew about the trap, man. This guy's too smart for the trap.
We finally got the little shit home. We took him to the vet, make sure he was okay. My dog's about to bark. I can smell it. He's good. He's doing well. He's got ear mites.
Oh shit!
Which he must have. I guess he picked him up out there off a raccoon or something.
Damn.
But he's just chilling. He's kicking it. He's in good shape. I love him so much. I'm glad he's home. And that's been my life. That's been my whole Nothing else going on.
Getting a job, cat entrapment encounters.
Yeah, my mom's living with me now.
Oh yeah, how's that going? She turns
it's
on
going-
the Catholic channel.
She loves the Catholic channel. She is a catholic. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I didn't get that one. I got to be honest with you. It needed
Well,
a hard R.
Okay, but you
The
thought
joke
about
would
it.
have been
then
better with a hard R.
You thought about it, and you got it. So it's
That's
like
my
clever
impression
that
of
way.
JonTron.
Moira, quit whining. I love this. This is gonna be the best episode of the podcast. I talked for 10 minutes just about my cat that no one has any stake in.
Hell yeah. People love a beautiful story. It's fucking Homeward Bound, man. I watched Homeward Bound 12 times when I was quarantined at 12 years old for a disease.
That's wonderful. I always forget how old you are. I always think you're 6.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm 20.
But in reality, it was like 2 minutes before I met you.
That reminds me of a joke that I'm mad about. My aunt came over.
Okay.
My fucking aunt came over, and my mom was talking, and we were in the kitchen, and we were talking about the fucking coronavirus vaccine, which I'm against personally.
You have it. Twice.
You've ruined my joke.
Keep going.
And she was like, "Well, did Blaine get it?" And I was like, "No." Because like people who are younger than 16 can't get it.
Right.
And then she didn't know that, my aunt, and so she was like, "Oh, I didn't know people under 16 couldn't get it." And then my mom comes in and she's like, Yeah, but they're thinking about opening it up soon where 16s can get it. And I said, 16s? But there's so many teens. Why only 6 of them? And she moved on like I didn't make a joke at all.
No.
There wasn't even a polite acknowledgement. You don't have to think it's funny, but it was a good one, in my opinion.
I told you I smelled it. I told you I smelled it. I'm going to go let her outside real quick. This podcast is probably coming to an end anyways, but I'm going to go let the dog out, and then we'll say something funny, and then leave it alone.
We're close to the end, yeah.
I can't hear you anymore. I took my headphones off. Got to let my dog out.
I just remembered that actually what I meant to say earlier. First of all, this is actually very close to my surprise. Don't forget my surprise. Last episode we forgot to name a guest we'd like to have on the podcast because that's something we want to do. We had agreed that we wanted to do that after we recorded the first episode.
Okay, Druzus, I'm back. Give me the surprise. I'm excited for the surprise.
You're excited for the surprise? Did you hear me talk about the surprise?
I didn't. I promise I didn't.
While you were gone. Okay. Yeah, the surprise is coming up. Don't worry about it. I was just telling them about the thing that we forgot to do last episode.
Oh yeah.
Which was name a guest we'd like to have on the podcast at the end of the podcast.
Yes.
Because I think that's a great idea for an end of podcast thing. Because I think having an end of podcast thing is good for the podcast. You know.
Yeah, it keeps retention. They're like, oh, who do they want on the podcast this time? And then we'll go Jerry Seinfeld. And then
every time I look at the comments in the first 2 episodes, and it's always, I wonder who they want on the podcast this time.
That's what they do. That's the only reason they come, actually.
Yeah, and the British person says, I wonder who they want on the podcast this time. You thought I was going to go like this, isn't it? You thought I was going to do that, but I didn't.
Well, you did anyways.
No, I didn't.
So is the surprise on the podcast? Is the surprise on the podcast?
Yeah, the podcast. The surprise will be on the podcast, yes.
Okay, so are we going to surprise before or after we talk about who we want on the podcast?
I'm thinking before.
All right, well, I got to go pick my wife up from work in 20 minutes, so...
20 minutes? Okay, perfect. Okay, so here's the surprise. I have to piss.
Oh, my God. Now I got to talk. I can't... Okay, so now I'm alone while Druzy goes to piss. First off, this is legitimately the first time that he and I have actually, like, spoken for longer than, like, 20 minutes since the last time we recorded the podcast. So I've been really excited to share my life. So if you guys were just kind of disappointed and bored by, me talking about my cat, Danny DeVito, that's his name. His name is Danny DeVito. I'm sorry about it. But I was just really excited. I wanted to share kind of a feel-good story because, it all came. And anyone with a cat out there, their cat might have got out. You think it might not come home. 3 days before we found him, we stopped setting up the trap. like as much. We didn't take we didn't put as much thought into it. We said maybe he should just be an outside cat forever, and we'll be okay with that. We'll try to feed him, and he still came home. So don't give up hope on your cats, guys. Drew's is back, but he's wrestling with his headphones. Hurry up.
I'm back, bitch.
Welcome back.
That really was the surprise, by the way. Right before you called, I realized I had to piss, and I figured, because it was like you know how you can tell, you flex that muscle that we all have, and we know how to flex, but we don't know where it is or what it is, where you can tell you have to piss, and you can tell how long it's going to be. You know, you go like this, and you can tell.
So you're telling me I've been sitting here knowing that there was an inevitable surprise for 1 minute, 5 minutes and 38 seconds, and all it was is that you had to go
1
piss.
minute, 5 minutes, and 36 seconds. Yes.
1 minute, dude. I'm trying so hard.
You're doing good. This is the best episode of the podcast yet.
This is the best one there ever was. This is our Magnum PI.
Yeah.
Magnus
PI.
This is our Magnus PI.
I hate when Magneto's name is Magnus.
Is it?
Sometimes it is. He has got like 3 different names because they kept accidentally retelling his origin story, and giving him a different human name every time because he takes up a mutant name later.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's Magnus, and I just hate that shit.
What is it normally? What is it?
It's
in the
usually
movies?
Eric Lenscher.
Lenscher.
It's also Eric Lenscher in the movies. Yeah.
Yes.
A few years ago, they tried to switch back to Magnus, and that sucked. Yeah, that was really the surprise. It was a great bit, right?
No, I was disappointed. I thought you were going to tell me something awesome and interesting.
Oh, I got a new keyboard, and it's really fucking cool, but I didn't think that'd be very interesting.
No, it's kind of not.
Yeah.
I thought
nice, though.
I thought I'd benefit from the surprise, I guess.
Oh. Honestly, I feel like I kind of did you dirty.
You kind of did me dirty.
Know that I'm really sorry.
I think you should just tell me who you want on the podcast. We should just end it.
But fuck, man. This is the best episode yet. We can't end it like that. Let's talk about the Schneider cut.
No, I'm kind of hurt. Did you say Schneider?
That's how I say it, Schneider. I know it's Snyder, but...
Because when you say Schneider cut, I'm thinking feet.
I'm thinking feet. Hey, remember... Hey, what do you want for dinner? I don't know. I'm thinking feet. That's the best joke so far on the podcast, right?
That's the best joke. Tell me who.
Oh yeah.
Listen.
What's your best joke on the podcast?
Leave
it in the comments.
I'm actually the one who said I'm thinking feet, so that's my best joke.
Oh yeah. I love
just
when
stopped
you said
recording.
That. What the fuck? God damn it! He stopped. Fucking.
No, I didn't.
I'm looking at him right now.
I didn't actually stop.
I started talking to the audience directly. You fucking got
man.
my ass. I'm mad at you.
I did get you. I got you.
This is the last episode of the podcast.
We've done it. It's a trilogy.
The Hear Me Out trilogy.
The Hear Me Out trilogy, where we never heard anyone out.
We never once heard everyone out.
And we never will.
Oh, no. We never will.
Who do you want on this podcast?
Oh, fuck.
You've been putting it off because you didn't have one in mind.
I've been putting it off because this is the best episode of the podcast, and I want to get to at least like an hour and 10.
Man, we'll take 10 minutes.
But I don't think we have enough fuel. We're sputtering out here. We're over the Atlantic. We're pulling an Amelia Earhart.
I was about to say the same thing. We're gonna get eaten by crabs.
Actually, that wasn't her. Those weren't her bones.
How do you know?
They ran a DNA test. It was a dude's bones.
How did they have Amelia Earhart's DNA?
No, like they can study the bones and tell what they looked like. They do that. Scientists do this all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't have any. They didn't. Did they have the guy's DNA? They didn't have anything to compare it to. How'd that guy get?
They had his fucking bones, dude. I don't know how he got on Crab Island.
Maybe it was the guy that was.
Did they have his DNA? They had his bones, dumbass. Did you know there's a Japanese city where they think that Jesus' bones are?
No.
It's crazy.
I want to look into it.
Sure. I mean, honestly, I feel like sure. Why not?
He could have been.
If he's God, he can go to Japan if he wants. Like
He could.
you know, if
How
he's
did he
literally
get there?
a boat, I don't know.
Yeah, but he didn't have to walk before he built.
He was in like modern day. I think he was in what is considered today to be Palestine. So I think like he would have to go really far to get to Japan.
And then he'd have to boat.
Then he'd have to have a boat with him. Yeah.
Could people in Jesus'
could-
time? Could people take boats from the mainland and back on Japan?
I think so because China and Japan have been interacting with each other for thousands of years.
But all they had to do was meet in the middle. They didn't have to go all the way.
What do you mean meet? You can't meet in the middle of the goddamn ocean, can you?
Yeah, you can. You
How?
walk the plank onto their boat.
You just walk their plank.
Wait,
is the plank really for like meeting?
what else?
That'd
would
be
it
kind of
for?
cool. It's for killing people, right? Like
No, I'm pretty sure it's from going from boat to boat.
That's fucking. I never thought about this. We made
I
it to
could
an
be
hour
wrong.
and 10. I
We
want
made
to
it to an hour
have
and 10. Who do you want on the podcast?
Blackbeard, the pirate.
Blackbeard? What's his real
Blackbeard.
name? What's his real
I don't know
one?
his real name, but I know that he set his
Edward?
beard on fire. Wait, no, it might be Edward.
Edward Kenway.
Did you look it up?
No, that's the pirate from Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Oh, god damn it. God damn it.
Yeah, I gotcha,
God
stupid
damn it.
bitch.
I really want to play Assassin's Creed 3 and 4 because I'm a history nerd and because pirates are cool.
I have
But-
3 on Xbox 360 and it's backwards compatible on the Xbox One, so if Blaine's dad ever wants to give you the freaking Xbox back, then
Yeah.
You can
Oh,
play
that's
it.
another life update. My ex-stepdad took my fucking Xbox.
what a son of a bitch.
Let's leave it on that note. Wait, give us no. Let's. What's your person for the?
I think it's
for the
going to be Danny
podcast?
Brown. I said it earlier.
Danny Brown. I forgot about. Wait, no. Eddie Burback is mine. At the
Is
same
it?
time,
I'd love to have him because he's got to be 1,000 times better than we are at podcasting.
Eddie and Danny Brown
Eddie and
at
Danny
the same
Brown,
time.
the four of us.
4-person podcast. We'll hear all of each other out.
We can talk all about it, and then we
Wash
can
it
have,
down with Tabasco. That's how he sounds.
That's what he'd say. He doesn't talk like that.
Here's my impression of to finish off the podcast. Here's my impression of Danny Brown.